Hello, everyone. It has been a while since we've played Rune Factory 5. Yep, it's been about 2 months since my last stream, and I don't really know why. I guess because other games came out and stuff like that, so I wanted to play Xenoblade for a little bit for you guys and stuff like that. Don't know if I'll ever finish that stream because it's a very long game, but yeah, less than a month until Guardians of Azuma. I don't know if I will be finishing Rune Factory 5 before it comes out. I do plan to finish it though, even if Guardians of Azuma is already out. So by the looks of the poll, which if you've not voted yet, it is on the posts tab of the channel. I did a poll where I was asking you guys if you wanted me to do Guardians of Azuma as a Let's Play series or a stream, and so far, Let's Plays are winning. So please, if you have not, please go vote on that. So what I might do is I might continue Rune Factory 5 as a stream, and then Guardians of Azuma will just stay as a Let's Play series. But, yeah. Sorry I'm getting started a little late. I was waiting for the new Honkai Star Rail update to finish before I turned my PS5 off. So what we're going to be doing about the same thing we've done the last few episodes. We're going to be fishing for rainbow trout so we can get Ludmila's affection up, so that by the time we actually beat the main story, we will be ready to get married. Because in this game, you cannot get married till you beat the main story. So let's get this off here. Boom. Boom. Hello, everybody. All right, so it is bright and early. Bright and early. Hope everyone's having a great day. Yep, it's me. Okay. Oh, I have forgotten my controls. It has been so long. Ah, there we go. Why did I do that? Oh, crap. I was going to say, I thought I had my watering can equipped. Jeez. Well, Landon, it's great to see that you could join me. Got started a little late. Wasn't in too big a hurry since I don't have to get up early tomorrow. Alright, now I gotta fix my mess. It's amazing if you stop playing a game for so long, you actually do forget the controls. Oh yeah, didn't you? Because when you told me at work that you were doing that. Because I remember you mentioning soup. But I could be misremembering. I don't know. Okay, simmering right now. I bet it'll be good. Okay. Let's do a...
Nice. Yes. Nice.
Yeah, and like... Yeah, it is. And it is definitely a challenge sometimes. It's like... I knew it had been a while since I played this. But I didn't realize it had been 2 months. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was wanting to beat this before the new game came out. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. Because it comes out in less than a month. Well, the edition that I pre-ordered will be a little late. But... Okay, wait. I need to check my... Okay, I do have some rainbow trout. So let's go give her her daily fish. But it's because other games came out and I was playing those, and I got back into the grind in Final Fantasy 14. So yeah, I let time get away from me. Okay, what does she mean by teetering over the edge? Oh yes, definitely. Plus, this is the first time I've touched my Nintendo Switch in like a while. So yeah, it's even like it was to the point where my Pro controller has to be plugged in because the batteries were dead. That's how long it's been since I've played. Huh. So, Alice, when in your life did you come closest to teetering over the edge? I was in this dungeon once, out in the fields one day, believe it or not, at the baths. I have a feeling if I say at the baths, it's going to get really... I was hoping for something that would... I will, as I've said in other episodes, I think Ludmila is, like, seriously the lewdest character they have ever put into Rune Factory. Like, she's a succubus, so of course it's gonna be that way, but I mean, some of her dialogue is just like, wow. Whoop. Something. Like, it's not a bad thing necessarily, but it's just shocking because, you know, at the end of the day, this is supposed to be like, you know, a farm sim. So, you know, there is kind of this misconception that they are supposed to be kid friendly, but I don't know. Well, it depends who you ask, I think. All right, so do I have an event? Oh, she's almost at level 3. Oh yeah, day in the life of Heinz is on some kind of top secret errand. What could it possibly be? Wait, is it even open yet? Not till 9. Okay, well, I guess we'll go fishing until then. So, like, if you were to play this game and the parents saw her dialogue, and, you know, let's say the parents were very conservative, you know, that kid would not be playing Rune Factory 5 anymore. Do we got any big boys? Because she does say some pretty... like the very first time I played this game, I was like, man, I can't believe they allowed that in a Rune Factory game. But that's not to say Rune Factory hasn't done things that are kind of questionable, like there was a game for the original Wii. It was technically a direct sequel of the first game, because just because this game has a gotta target the Gooners for attention. I never thought Gooners would be in relation to Rune Factory, but like, even though this game has a 5 in the title, that does not mean that it is a direct sequel of 4. They're all, think of them all as separate episodes, pretty much, or separate seasons. All take place within the same world, but they're not exactly connected to each other. Man, I'm not getting the good fish I want at all. But there was a character in Rune Factory Frontier. She was a marriage candidate. And Frontier was not really a spin-off, because it was kind of a direct sequel, as I said, of the first game. And there was a marriage candidate who, she was like a chef or something like that. And if you told her that you preferred skinnier girls, pretty much, she would lose weight, because she's a little heavy. And if you tell her that, you know, you don't care, I never finished Frontier, so I can't remember. But yeah, if you told her she was fine, she would not lose weight. But if you told her, oh, I prefer smaller girls, she loses weight. Yeah, pretty much. Like, yeah, it's more than likely a self-conscious kind of thing. But I could see people being like, man, that's kind of shallow. But I'm trying to remember out of all the ones I've played and actually beaten, because like 2 and 3 I never beat. Frontier I never beat.
I'm really sorry.
The first one I beat. 4 I beat. And 5 I beat. And Tides of Destiny, which was a spin-off. I can't really remember any other romance options that were like questionable in a way. What I liked about Rune Factory was that it's not just talk to your love interest every day and give them a gift that they like, which is kind of how Harvest Moon / Story of Seasons did. Even Stardew Valley, in a way, it's mostly just give them gifts, talk to them, and you'll get a cutscene. And yeah, they kind of have a story, but in the first game, in Rune Factory 1, a lot of the marriage candidates, not all of them, but some of them, yeah, not 100% like a dating sim, even though there are a lot of people who call these games dating sims because there's love interests in them. But in the first game, a lot of the marriage candidates had quest lines that you had to fulfill before you could marry them. The best one I can remember was, I think her name was Felicia, I believe. And she was the daughter of the mayor of the town in the first game. And she had always been sickly her entire life. Well, if you get her attraction to you up enough, you learn that she has had this like black stone that she's had for years, and it turns out that stone is what is causing her affliction. So once you get rid of it, she returns to full health, full recovery, and then of course that leads to her falling in love with you and eventually getting married. And then there were other romance options who didn't have as quite of a quest in a way, like another marriage candidate in Rune Factory 1. I believe her name was Tabitha. She was a maid. She was an elf maid. And the one prerequisite for marrying her, besides getting her affection up to a certain level and stuff like that, was you had to have like 10 monster barns on your farm, and all of them had to be full before she would marry you. Which, when I first saw the requirement, like, you gotta remember, that game came out in like, oh man, when did the first Rune Factory came out? It came out on the original DS. 2009, maybe? But I remember, like, reading that and being like, oh man, that sounds like a chore. It's not. It doesn't take you very long to save up enough to build that many monster barns, and monsters are kind of aplenty for you to gather. And then, of course, you had one where you had to catch like the most rarest fish in the game before she would marry you. And then you had some that were just simply raise their affection, they'll marry you.
Yes.
And that was the first game, which was very, very basic in how it played. Like it's the least complicated out of all the games. Rune Factory 2, like I said, I never beat Rune Factory 2, but I did play it. It was the first game in the series, of course, to have 2 separate arcs. You had the first arc where you played as, of course, the main character, Kyle.
What could it be?
And the second arc, you played as your child, because Kyle vanishes. And then you play as the child to... okay, now what's that? Is that part of his quest? I want to make sure before I... Okay. You play as the kid. So that was unique, Then in 3, which I played but did not finish, you play as Micah, who is half monster, and he can turn into a woolly, which, for anyone who is watching that doesn't know much about Rune Factory, a woolly is Rune Factory's version of a sheep. And he can turn into a golden woolly. Yeah. Like I said, I never finished Frontier, but the storyline of that one, well, yeah, in a way, kind of a furry, yeah. Frontier, it's a sequel to the first game, but it completely ignores if you got married after the events of the story. The cuddling a sheep sounds low. I've never got to cuddle a sheep, but I have got to play and pet with a baby goat before. And when people say goats are a lot like dogs, it's true. They are very receptive to petting and affection and all that. Pick the goat. Yeah, goats are very sociable animals. Kick the goat. I wasn't going to kick that goat. It was too cute. But yeah, goats are very sociable animals. So they respond to petting and cuddles and all that, just like a dog or if your cat is in a good mood, a cat will cuddle with you. Yeah, I remember reading about it. My oldest nephew at one time had goats, and he kept a couple of them here. And so I'd go outside and I'd pet them and, stuff like that. And they were very well behaved. And that's when I looked up about them. And yeah, apparently goats are very sociable. They pee in their... One thing about goats I will confirm is they do poop a lot. They are like slot machines when it comes to pooping. I don't know if it's true that they eat garbage, but they will eat your grass big time. If you do not want to mow your yard, just get goats. They're perfect for it. But anyway, like I said, Frontier I never beat, and like that was one of the hardest games for me to find. There was every time that me and Jess would go... Well, no, this is even before Jess even moved here. Every time I went to McKay's, I would look at the Wii games, and I would look for Rune Factory Frontier, and eventually they had it, and of course I bought it. But I never got... The Nintendo Wii just was not a good system for me. I just didn't care much for it at all. There were some games I did like, but other than that, it was eh. But the story in it is that Mist, the main girl of the game, of the first game, disappears, and she ends up living in another village. You find her, you decide to live in that village, and there is literally a whale in the sky that has like an island or something on its back. And if something's not done, it's going to fall from the sky and destroy the village. So it kind of had a Link's Awakening / Majora's Mask kind of thing going on. But yeah, I never finished it. Tides of Destiny, which was another spinoff, it was released in Japan on the original Wii. It was called Rune Factory Oceans, and it was released here as Tides of Destiny, but only on the PlayStation 3. And one of the only Rune Factory games to be released on a Sony system, sadly. Rune Factory 4 is the only other one that's appeared on a Sony system. I liked it because it was on a console that I actually liked, and it played like, your standard Japanese RPG on the PS3 at the time. The things I didn't like about it was the farming. I did not like the farming in Tides of Destiny. Like, you had a house, but you did not have a barn, you didn't have a field, and you had this giant golem that you could control to explore the ocean, because you're on an island. And really, we're going to tail him? Come on. I'm going to stalk the guy. But anyway, but the golem also acted as your monster barn. You could keep monsters inside of it. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. And where you grew crops were on other islands. There was a spring island, there was a summer island, a fall island, and that's how you grew crops. And like I said in my Rune Factory 6 video, I am very old school when it comes to the farming in these games. I want a house, I want a field to grow my crops, I want a barn for my livestock, and that's it. Maybe a coop for the avian livestock, but I just want it simple, you know. This game, Rune Factory 5, disappointed me a lot with the farming. The farming is almost 100% optional. Nothing will change in this game if you don't do any farming whatsoever. Yeah, like the only thing it's really good for really is maybe for recipes if you do a lot of cooking, and money. That's literally all it's really good for. Now in Guardians of Azuma, it looks like farming might also be a thing to do on the back burner, you know. I hope not, but then again, I've not played it. I know some VTubers and some other streamers have gotten early access to it, but I'd rather just wait and play it myself. But with Rune Factory, it's like, okay, the main series, which is 1 through 5 and eventually 6, is where they kind of stick to a formula, where the spin-off titles, like, technically there's only been one, that's Tides of Destiny, but Guardians of Azuma will be the second spin-off, because I don't really know if Frontier counts as a spin-off, because it's a direct sequel. But Guardians of the spin-off games is what they test new things for, like new features and things like that. So Landon, you really want Heinz's jawline. Oh man, I'm just doing this to get his event taken care of, because Heinz is not exactly one of my favorite characters in this game, but he does have a manly, gorgeous chin. Oh. But one thing I hope definitely they fix from this game to Guardians of Azuma is, if you're doing a character's quest line, it doesn't like block you from doing the others until you finish. Hello. Okay, looks like it's done. See, this is one thing that I hope they avoid in Guardians of Azuma and in 6 going forward. Like, if you run into any of these, the event will start, and all of these will be blocked off until you finish it. And the biggest problem I have with that is that with some of them, it's very, very... Some of them are very vague, and you don't exactly know what you have to do to complete it. Like, there's one where the next part of the quest won't activate until nightfall, but it doesn't tell you that. So, I'm hoping they change that a little bit. But yeah, I don't really... I never cared for the Seed HQ being my house in this game. Because it just feels weird that your workplace is where you live, but after you get married, it's where your wife is going to live, it's where your children are going to live, and it's like... And also, the furniture placement in this game is horrid. Okay, I don't need to save. I forgot this is my main. Wow. I need something to drink. Oh. Okay. Everyone's asleep, so no quests are popping up yet. Only in farming sims can weeds, rocks, boulders, and stumps appear overnight. I don't feel like crushing this, so it's going in there. Got my Punix. Well, it's that, yes. Not all of us are interior designers, but like, no matter how hard you try, you can't like put the furniture directly up against the wall. Like it will not let you place it. And so everything is like crooked. And it's just an eyesore. Like when I play games like this, I'm not really into the decorating of a house because like it's kind of like if I wanted to do that, I would play like Animal Crossing or something. But and at first I was like, oh cool, we get to set our furniture, you know, we can set up the room, blah blah blah. And then I actually tried it and I was just like, oh no. Oh no. My OCD is going to be driven crazy. And like they give you a lot of stuff to put in your room. And the very first time I played this game, I bought and built like all of it. And it looked awful. It looked like I just had a room of equipment that I bought at like a yard sale and I didn't have the room for all of it. I should at least build one monster barn just to show the example of why I hate the monster barns in this game. I might do that real quick just to see. But this is what I mean. This is what I mean. Look, you cannot put this stuff directly against the wall like it would be normally. That is the like it. You cannot get it any closer. So everything is like this, and it's just awful. And when you upgrade your place and can access this room, it's just a room full of stuff. Like I did kind of an okay placement with the crafting table. Like it's not that bad, but yeah, like your dresser, you can't even put it against the wall. It has to be like this, and it's just awful. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen. I'll see in a minute if I have enough material to make a monster barn. Not that I have any monsters, but the interior is just disgusting. Okay. Well, there's an event right there. Which one's this? Oh, Jillian versus Hina. Jillian is more determined than ever to defeat Hina once and for all. Well, maybe just once. Here in a moment, we'll go. There's not an event at the. Okay, good. Yay! I got money. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can build a monster barn real quick and. Because here's the thing. When I expect a barn, because that's technically what it is. It's a barn for livestock. I expect for there to at least be some design to it that makes it look like a barn. Some stalls, some feeding troughs, a barrel, rope hanging on the wall, just something that screams, hey, this is a barn. Ooh, that's a big fish. Could that be one? Could that be one of the ones I'm looking for? I also hope the fishing aiming is way better than this game.
Okay, let's catch a big one. You're mine.
Ah, it's a char. Darn it. Not this one. Ah, crap.
Let's catch a big one. There.
Ah, crap. Go up there, you dumb fish. Ugh. Oh, that might be right on the money. Yes. You stupid small fish. I want to beat my head against this microphone. Okay. Wow, this has been the fastest 44 minutes of my life. I'm surprised I'm not yawning. I've yawned so much in streams before because I'm so tired, and I didn't sleep on the way home. Ah, come on. All the small ones are... Oh, wow, a chub. I could so say a joke right now, but I'm not going to. Well, it's 9 o'clock. Let's go give Ludmila her gift, and then let's see about that monster barn.
Hey, quit treating me like a kid.
Hey, I didn't say anything to you. Where'd she go? Ah, there she is.
Morning. Are you familiar with the language of flowers?
Not at all. Not at my age, sadly, anymore. Used to, I could do it. I could stay up all night until the crack of dawn and just not go to bed. I can't do that now. Age and my workplace has ruined that. Is that enough to get her to level 3? Yes, it is. 3 hearts. Yes. I think at some point I need to play this off stream and just get her affection up more. That way it's not constantly streams of me just giving Ludmila fish. Okay, let's go up to... It's like me and Jess are going to a con in a couple of weeks, and her and our friend Brittany are wanting to leave at 5 a.m. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, give me strength. Please have me be able to... Okay, I was going to say, are you going to sell me anything? Let's do the earth one. I think I picked the wrong one. Yes, it is, but they're wanting to get there at a decent hour. I think I picked the wrong thing. Renovate. Wait, did I build a monster barn already? It says B. Well, thankfully, I am off work the day before we leave. But, like, don't get me wrong. I want to get there at a decent time, too. But, man, 5 a.m.'s rough. But with our history of leaving for conventions, and Jess is still working on her competition piece, I personally don't think the 5 a.m. is going to happen. But that's just from the past. We've planned to leave at a certain time before, and we never do. Oh, man, this place is ugly. You can tell I have not been... Okay, I completely... Oh, yeah, that's right. You had to do this as part of a quest. Okay, so this is supposed to be a barn. Please remember that, okay? Look at this. It's just a room. It is just a room. This looks nothing like a barn. Why is the ground stone? It should be dirt. Why is there no hay? Why is there no boxes, no barrels, no rope on the wall, no stalls? Like, this is awful. This is the worst barn I have ever seen in a farming sim. Like, this is awful. This is atrocious. And if you add more rooms, it reminds me of the old maze screensaver from like the 90s. Like, it looks awful. That's the reason why I don't do a lot of farming in this game as far as like monsters go. I just don't. And then when you actually when you actually have monsters in your barn, they're just wandering around. They're not like doing normal stuff. So yeah, I was so let down by that. Let's see. We got an event right here. I'll go one more day and see. Now that she's at 3 hearts. Another thing about this one that I didn't really realize when I first played it, but going back and playing 4, which I bought off Steam so I could mod it, it's short. It is short for a Rune Factory game. Like, I've seen people claim that they beat the main story of this game within the first year. And that, I would say that's not exactly out of the ordinary, because the remake of Friends of Mineral Town from Story of Seasons, at one point, I don't know if I could still do it now, but at one point, I don't feel like busting this, I knew what to do so that... Oh, I forgot all about my Punix. Like... See, it's been so long. 4 is pretty lengthy. 4 can be pretty lengthy if you, like, do everything. 2 and 3 I never completed. 1, I would say 1 is pretty beatable pretty quickly if you know what you're doing, because it was the first one. It was the most simple out of all of them. But Tides of Destiny could be kind of lengthy too. It had a lot you could do as well. Now, for me personally, this game lasted pretty long because I maxed out all of the marriage candidates and like watched their marriage cutscenes and all that. So, like, you can make them last, but it seems like in this day and age, people try to play and beat games as fast as they can. Who's going to get it first? Another card. Ah, crap. Didn't even do that. But yeah, I always thought 4 is more than likely the longest one in the series, just because there's so much to do in it. And plus, it's separated into different arcs. And there's even a lot of stuff you can do after you've beaten, like, the main story, because there's more story after that. Now, Guardians of Azuma might be pretty lengthy because it kind of looks like they went the open world route a little bit in it. So we'll see. Of course, you know, the game's not out yet, so but from the gameplay that I've seen, it looks like it's going to be kind of open world like. That's why I'm kind of worried about farming not being a very big part of it, just because it looks like they're going the open world route on that one. But we'll see. Hopefully it surprises me. Man, I am not getting any rainbow trout. At least my fishing rank keeps going up. Wonder if I should try the other spot. Yeah, like, I can't say for certain for the earlier games because they were kind of... I've always said Rune Factory is kind of like farming sim meets Japanese RPG in a lot of ways. Because not only do you have the farming, you have the festivals, you have the getting married stuff and all that, but it does have a main story where you go into dungeons, you fight monsters, you gain levels. There's usually a villain that is threatening the world, and you have to save it. But they were kind of, you know, cut and dry a little bit, like the earlier ones. Like, once you beat the main story-wise, everything's done besides, you know, getting married, having children, stuff like that. Or if you've not, like, maxed out other NPCs and you want to see, like, their little quest lines if you become close with them, you can do stuff like that. You can always keep playing even after you've beaten the story, you know, because it's a farming sim. They're endless. But 4 was a little different. Like I said, there was some story after you beat, like, the villains of that game. And who knows, Guardians of Azuma might have that. But it already looks like it's going to be a pretty lengthy game already. But of course I won't know until I get it, which I think I've decided if I can afford to, I'm going to double dip. Yep, you can keep playing for as long as you want. Yep. But I might be double dipping on Guardians of Azuma because, as I said in my other videos, I got the Earth Dancer edition, but because of the tariffs, they're going to be delayed by at least 2 weeks after release day. And being or wanting to become a Rune Factory content creator, I kind of need that game day one. So I might be double dipping. I don't know if I'm going to get it on. I don't know if I'm still going to get it on the Switch or if I'm going to get it on Steam. I don't know. We'll just have to see. I might just get it on Switch just because that way I can just continue that playthrough when my limited edition one shows up. But so there was nothing in that. Like, where am I going? Jeez, I'm getting sidetracked. This is the Switch version, which is why it's kind of chuggy in some areas. It is available on Steam, and the Steam version does run way better than this one. I mostly bought the Steam version for the limited edition version, which came. It's sitting right there on my shelf. It came in a box with some extra physical stuff like the soundtrack and art book. So that's one thing about the Switch version of this game. Its optimization is really bad in some areas. It's not unplayable. And I caught a boot. Wow, that's great. That is the... Come on, line up. Man, all the fish are going the same direction. There we go. Like, I don't know why they released it like this. I wish they would have fixed it. Nah, that's not what I wanted, but... Okay, let's... I'll give an example. I'll give an example right here. It's usually when you first load into an area, that's where it's the worst. Yeah, see, it kind of struggles a little bit when you first enter a map. See, it's straining a little bit. Not unplayable. It doesn't make it unplayable, but you know, in this day and age, there's a lot of people who prioritize performance and all that over anything else. So I can see why a lot of people weren't happy with it. But for me, it's all right. It's nothing too detracting. Keep the chat. She's getting excited by the thought of getting a paper cut because she's a masochist. That's a succubus for you. Like I said, the most lewdest character ever in Rune Factory. All right. Yep, she is a succubus, yes. Which is, not gonna lie, one of the reasons why she's my favorite romance option in this game, because I just... Like, how many games back in the day allowed you to romance a succubus character as a girl. You know, like it never would have happened back in the day. So with same sex, like, you know, this was the first game that allowed same sex marriage in the series. Technically, if you have 4 on Steam, you can mod it to where it also has same sex marriage in it. But you know, it's like some of the Yuri manga, that comes out now. There are some where back when I was growing up, like in the 90s or the early 2000s, where if that same manga came out then, it would be a male protagonist. Like, there's one that we sell at work. I think I've showed Landon this one, and it's called Does It Count If You Lose Your Virginity to an Android? And it's about an office worker lady who is so lazy that her room is a mess. So her whole apartment is a mess. And yeah, you'd never saw Yuri back then, though. And she gets drunk one night and she decides to order a robot maid. Well, she accidentally orders a SEX bot. Let's just say that. And like, she's very human-like. You wouldn't even think she was an android by looking at her. But back in the day, if that manga were to come out in the late 90s, early 2000s, it would have been a male protagonist and not a female. So that's one of the reasons why I went for Ludmila, because like I said, how many forms of media has a succubus thirsting over a female, you know? Poor Julian. He got the short end of the stick.
Jeez.
Because okay, so he has a big crush on Hina. Landon, I might be gone in 15 minutes because I'm already at an hour. Hold up. Braden, is that you? I didn't recognize it because of the screen name. Oh. It did. I didn't know who you were. I thought you were just a random guy that came in. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll have to apologize to Landon because I'm not going to be here for 15 minutes, I don't think. But this poor kid, Hina beats it. Like he's that kind of character where he's like, I want to be the best at everything, and he's got a crush on Hina. Like, he for sure has a crush on her. And here in Guardians of Azuma, she's grown up and she's a marriage candidate for the protagonists in that game. So somewhere down the line, he either gave up or she just told him she didn't feel that way. Oh man, it's midnight. But Braden, yes, I do recommend that one. Just be warned, it's like 90% nudity and all that. It's more of a comedy, though. As it's went on, it's getting more and more dramatic and more toward the romance side of things. It's also getting an anime. It is getting an anime. It was announced just like last week, I believe. It's getting an anime. Don't know how it's going to be an anime when, like I said, 95% of it is, yeah, that. So we'll see what they do. Yeah, like that was one Yuri manga that I read that I was not expecting to get an anime. Like I just never would have thought it. Like next time we work together, I'll show you one of the covers. let's just say this: it's one of the ones that's wrapped. Alrighty, well, I think I am going to save, and I think I am going to. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it without like sacrificing the quality of the story and all that. So I don't know how they're going to do it. Okay. Save. Alright, guys. I am going to call it there because it's after midnight and I got to work tomorrow, even though I close. I still got some stuff I want to do before I go to bed. But, Braden, please apologize to Landon for me. I know he said he'd be back in 15 minutes, but I'm like, Landon, I don't think I'm going to be here that long. But, you too, Braden. But for everyone else, please, if you enjoyed our content, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, click that like button, all that other stuff. Thank you for all the new subscribers. We're at 841 subscribers now. So please keep it up because we want to hit 1,000. But as always, guys, this is Canaan. Me and Jess love you all very, very much. Please stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.